Hello and welcome everyone who's listening to us. My name is Nina Robert, and this is the Success Catalyst podcast. I invite successful entrepreneurs here in this podcast to share their growth journey and to tell us more about their purpose and how they ended up doing what they do. We talk about entrepreneurship, success, growth, mental health, among other things. And today I have the pleasure to invite as my guest Blanca Falk. Blanca is an author and a mentor for young mothers and pregnant women, and she helps them get through this new experience, this new shift in life's expectations and priorities, and help them know more about what to expect and how to navigate this new experience that is the unbelievable responsibility and experience of motherhood. So Blanca, can you tell us more about yourself? Where are you from and how did you end up doing what you do?
Yes, sure. Thank you very much to be invited on your podcast. I'm very happy about this. And I'd like to welcome everyone who's watching now. And yes, my name is Blanca Falk, and I'm a mother of four children, actually four daughters. And I'm from Germany, so apologize my English. And I like to help young mothers because I went through so many different situations with my children. They just came up and I didn't choose them, but I was just thrown into and I had to figure out how to navigate actually and got so many experiences around this so that I decided to give back to all the mothers. They don't have to make the same challenges, the same, yes, hard stuff that I did. So I like just to guide and to, yes, lead them to a better place.
And what do you believe are the main struggles or challenges that a young woman would have with this new experience of motherhood?
Yes, if you have your first baby, the outside environment is always placing a wonderful picture of everything. So you're just lucky, you have your baby, you have your free time, you're staying at home, everything is fine and cozy, and you now have time to figure out what you want to do, or perhaps go back to your work because your baby is sleeping all the time. And it's a wonderful picture created on the outside. But the truth is, the inside is no one is talking about your inside, how it really feels to become a mother. All the, yes, I wouldn't say pain to give birth to a child, but it's a challenging situation like you do sports. And if you are on a high performance, it's hard. You have to do something. And after this, you're just exhausted. And sometimes no one is thinking about this because, of course, the hormones are the lucky ones and you should be proud and everything. But sometimes you just feel in another place and no one can relate to this or no one wants to relate to this. And this makes you sometimes a little, yeah, a little alone with your
Isolated.
situation
Yeah.
because you feel you have to build to fit into this picture of a wonderful world and just if friends come and congratulations and say, hey, let's have a party, let's celebrate the birth, and you just don't feel like this. You just think, oh, please leave me alone, I just did an awesome job, but I need a space, I need a room inside here just to really, yes, to grab the situation,
Mhm.
what just happened, because everything is new. You haven't been a mother before. It's a complete new field. And even if you read the books and if you think, oh, I know it now. I know what it means. It's difficult and yes, might be long and yes, after this everything is fine. No, because each way is different. We are all individuals and we cannot say this is the right way, this is the right path. Everyone is following this. So there is always a kind of we have to figure it out by ourselves, by our own. And
Indeed.
yes, I think the difficulty lies between the picture on the outside and really the feeling on the inside of yourself.
Wow. I mean, you pointed out so many things that young mothers are going through, and nobody, as you said, nobody's really paying attention to like the other perspective of the mother. I mean, everybody will congratulate you on the baby, on this new journey, and saying this is the most amazing thing that can happen to you, but nobody, or like not many people at least, ask, do you need help? How do
Mhm.
you feel? Are you going through this situation in the way that you expected? Is everything as you read in the books, or maybe your experience is so much different than what you read? Because what we read in self-help books and tutorials and all kinds of books is still a theory until you start applying it. It's like you tell me that I can read a book about riding a plane and I can just know how to do that. It does not happen like that. I have to practice it. I have to get through this new challenging situation that is new for my body and for my soul. And I have to navigate it my way. Maybe I have another way of doing things that nobody else has ever talked about. Not even my mother, not even my mentor, not even my the library of books that I bought before becoming a mother. So I do believe that it is a very individual experience, and each of us have to navigate it our way, because I mean, our culture, our body, society we live in, the job we have, if we have a job, everything adds to the situation, adds to the experience. So my next question is, how can a woman stay focused between this new physical and spiritual experience and other expectations and goals? So I expect a young mother to be ambitious, to have a job or to have a business, to have other goals in life beside having her firstborn. So, how can one shift in priorities, and how can one navigate in this new experience?
Yes, this is a real good question because it all comes down to balancing everything, you know. And this is very hard if you just focus always on the outside. If you focus on how to change the wipes of your baby, how to feed it, how to manage everything around. Because I can say I was overwhelmed with my first baby completely. I couldn't move. I was literally just staying at home, being afraid of, it's this responsibility you just out of the sudden you feel there is a new life, a new soul in your arms, and you have got the responsibility for this one. And so I thought, oh, I don't know how to handle it actually. And if you're just in a partnership or everything, you are all individuals and you can separate if you want. But this baby is given to you and there is no one you can put it to. It's yours now 24/7 and you have to figure out how. So I would really say to handle the situation is really to keep an eye on your baby first, because the first moments and the first, well, let's say the first weeks are so important for the bonding process between you and your baby, and nature is giving you everything you need as a woman. You are prepared. You're not aware of this, but you are prepared with everything that you need. So the only thing that you should do is really focus on your baby and not on the outside, not what other people think about, not what others are expecting you to do, and not even on your job or your business. If you can delegate anything, do this. Do everything delegating what is on the outside so that you really can focus and concentrate these first moments on your baby. Because the more you can do this, the easier it will become in the next future. And if you miss these parts, you will get challenges. It's the way of life, you know?
Yeah, and I love when you talked about bringing more awareness, because we have all the tools and resources that we need. We have them in our I think, genetic memory. We have them in our bodies. We are just not aware they're there. So we have to bring some more awareness. And I think staying grounded and allowing ourselves to feel this situation, to live it fully to the best of our ability, while staying kind to ourselves, is the first step to bring in more awareness and to navigate this new experience fully. But I wonder about, I mean, usually women tend to prioritize their families and their firstborn more than themselves, and sometimes more than their own health, like lack of sleep, overstressing, feeling overwhelmed without actually acknowledging these issues and taking care of them, just because there is another soul that is now 24/7 depending on you. So how can you navigate this sudden shift in priorities, taking care of yourself and of your baby at the same time?
Yes, and this is a wonderful part because I think if you really follow your nature and follow what's your intuition, there is no need to really prioritize because it's all in a flow. And what we tend to do is um, we have a tendency to stop the flow, to get into a state, to hold this situation and not to let it flow. And if you make a break in this, if you stop it, it becomes challenging again. So, what I mean is, for example, if you need sleep because your baby has got different times to sleep and you're not used to this, you're not familiar, you have got your time that you go to bed from, I don't know, from 10 to 6 or something like that, and your baby doesn't do this. So, how can you navigate through this? Just let your picture of being in bed at 10 o'clock and waking up at 6, let it go. So this means you will always get, and this is a wonderful point, I got this advice from someone and I thought this is so beautiful. No one is doing this, but it's a wonderful way to get the bonding part is go to sleep when your baby sleeps.
Mm-hmm.
And you will always have the right amount of sleep.
Right.
It's not your rhythm,
Mm-hmm.
but your baby is catching you with the rhythm and is showing you how to do this if you are able to let go. So this also can mean I'm not able to meet the friends at the time that I usually did. I'm not able to do all the things what I usually did. And this is real change in your system. And this is a challenging part because it's on the inside. You
Right.
just have to let go your picture, your imagination, what was before having your baby, and now to create a new one. This doesn't mean you always have to do this, but in the beginning, it can help you to calm down, to be with your baby, to get a feeling of you both, your baby and yourself, so that you can understand more the process of it. And this always helps.
I love that because I mean, I've always thought of it as prioritizing you versus the baby, where now you pointed out that it's actually a duality. You're now working as a team, and
Yeah,
he's catching up with you, and you're catching up with him or her, and you're starting to learn to listen to each other and to work with each other,
yeah.
adapting schedules, adapting priorities, adapting times of sleep. I love this. It's a whole new perspective that you're bringing. Um, each of us has a self-image, the hidden image that is subconscious, and they're projecting it subconsciously through their attitude, through their ways of dealing with their emotions. And eventually, as a mother, the self-image, I believe, will impact the way she sees this new experience, the way her attitude is going to be impacted and affected by this new experience. So, what do you think is the correlation between the self-image and the experience of motherhood?
I think it's crucial. I think it really is because no one is thinking about the subject to have a self-image about yourself within motherhood.
Hmm.
You know, it's familiar, you know how to deal with your job, with your business, with your family and friends outside. Everything is fine. But what about if you become a mother?
Hmm.
How do you perceive yourself? How do you want to be? Who do you want to be as a mother? And this also comes down to your individual path. So not everyone wants to place family first.
Mhm.
There may be other women who say, no, my business is first, and my baby has to follow this somehow. So you have to figure out how do you perceive yourself, and how do you see yourself really in this whole field, in this whole situation where different areas just come together. And it's health related, it's yes, hobby related, business related. There are all things around you. And I think the self-image of a mother is a part of it, but it's crucial to integrate it in the whole system.
Yeah, because I think the self-image that we had before this experience is absolutely to let go. You will never be the same before and after. It's an irreversible experience, and you will never get to your previous self-image. So you have
Even
to.
if you like to, if you say, oh, if I had known this before, I don't know if I had done it.
That's exactly what happens. Yeah, so it's absolutely crucial, as you said. I totally agree with that. It's your decision to decide, what do I want to be like as a mother? What is my self-image going to be like? What's my attitude going to be like? What's my daily routine going to be like? As you mentioned, hobbies, business, priorities, your night routine is never going to be the same. You will not spend, I don't know, 30 minutes doing your skincare routine now because you have a baby that's absolutely going to need you. And you also talked about having a business. And I believe motherhood and entrepreneurship are very correlated, are very similar in many ways. So, what's your opinion about that?
Yes, I also do think about this because I think the inside growth in motherhood and entrepreneurship is the biggest one you can have. And if you're not an entrepreneur, but you are a mother, you have got the opportunity to grow. And this is awesome. You can accept it or reject it. It's your decision. So not each mother is growing because they didn't decide to, but you're given all the things to make this happen, to follow this path, to embrace motherhood and to grow inside. So it's similar to entrepreneurship. If you step into this, you have to develop yourself. You have to find out how to solve the problems of others. And it's the same here.
Mhm.
Because just imagine you have a baby and you're just familiar, you're used to talk about different things. And now you have a baby, it's just crying. And you want it to talk. What's wrong? Why are you crying? But it doesn't. So, how can you figure out what happens? Why is this baby crying? And you will find this if you embrace motherhood and you're just close, you're just bonding with it. And this really means to take the rhythm of your baby, to to adapt it, and to carry your baby with you. It will just become easy. You will feel it, and this is the inside job. You will feel your path, and you will figure out what happens. And I have got a midwife. She says, you know what, Blanca, I'm able to say, oh, this baby is crying because it wants to be fed. This baby is crying because it's cold, and this baby is crying. She's able to do this. And I think it's not a, yes, she might be talented, but she just embraces her job, of course,
Mhm.
and to be with those babies. And each of us women is able to do this.
Yeah, I think it's a skill. You learn to listen and you learn to tune in that frequency
Right.
of a baby. You learn to differentiate between one cry and another. And I think it's similar in a very funny way to a business, because sometimes the business is not going well as you want it to be, as you expected the numbers to be. And at the end of the quarter, you're like looking at the reports and you don't know what's wrong. It's exactly the same thing as a baby crying. And you have to figure out and you have to test and you have to listen to your business, to your customers, to whatever other indicator that you may follow, the same way that you will listen to a crying baby. And eventually, with experience and with more focus, with more tuning in to that new experience, that new being, or to that new business, you learn to understand more. And I think that's when the growth happens, is
Yeah.
when you like navigate these challenges day to day
Right.
and month to month and listen and adapt.
Yes, right. Absolutely. I totally agree with you. It's a kind of commitment, you know? You have to be committed. And if you're not, if you just say, okay, let's do it a little,
Yeah.
you can't be a little pregnant.
Yeah.
So you can't be a little entrepreneur.
Yeah.
If you
Y-
want to do it right, just go.
Yeah. It's 100% experience. So you
Yeah.
can't be in half and half. And
Yeah.
one day you're in, and the next day you don't care.
Hmm.
So it's the same. Okay. Tell us more about your book. What is it about and how can it help young mothers?
Yes, my book is actually my experiences with my children. And from the beginning, from the really starting point of where do I want to go to give birth? Because usually we go into hospital. Is
Hmm.
this the right place to give birth to a child? Well, I don't like to say this is the right way or this is the wrong way. But what I would like to say is just think about yourself. How comfortable feels it for you? How can you relate to this? Or would you say, I don't know. I think a hospital is a wonderful place to help people with illness, with, yes, accidents, and there are wonderful people who can do this. But giving birth is a natural process and should be in a natural environment. This can be your path again. I just like to place different possibilities, what you can do and where you can go. And you just have to figure out. I like to inspire with this book because I really, I did just with the first one, with the first step of giving birth. I had one girl born at home, the next in the hospital, the next with the midwife, the next without anyone. So this is possible, but it's only possible if you believe in yourself, if you are able to step into your strength and really to say, I can do this.
Hmm.
If you're not able, I would never, never recommend to do this.
Hmm.
And if you say, I only feel safe if a doctor is holding my hand, that's your way. You can't do anything else. Just, and it comes back to self-image, I think.
Yeah.
How do you perceive yourself? Are you able to see the strength in yourself? Or would you say, I need help, I need guidance? So this is your way. I like to encourage with this book. Goes further with choosing the school or being in kindergarten or not, or um, how to spend your free time with your children or without your children, and all those topics that come along. And I just wrote down everything to encourage the women to look from a different angle, to just say, okay, I don't have to follow this path, um, because it doesn't feel good for me. I would like to get on another path, but I don't know where, I don't know what. And this is just to give them inspiration, to encourage them to go their life, to go their path.
I mean, it's important to stay open-minded, and I think this is one of the main purposes of the book, to just bring this new perspective, saying that you don't have to do what everybody else is doing or what everybody else told you you should be doing. You just have to listen more to yourself, widen your perspective, maybe see more of what other people are doing, like learn more about other experiences, and then decide for yourself what's going to work with you, what's not going to work. Um, what
It's
would
a
be,
little, to become aware of the things,
yeah,
just to open the eyes a little, to say,
that.
only this picture. There are more pictures around you. Just look at it.
I've always believed that bringing awareness to a situation, being it a challenge or a new experience or anything else, is the first step to success in anything that we're doing. And I think motherhood is one of the best, if not the best, projects that a mother could decide to do, of course. So what would be one last advice that you can give a young mother?
Follow your intuition. It's really, don't be as distracted from the outside, but always have a closer look on your inside and follow your intuition. And even if you say, I was in that situation that I thought, oh, I don't know my intuition, I don't know where it is, I don't know how to step into this, just try to connect to your inner self. This is the first step, I think, to really connect to yourself again. Feel your body, get from the outside to the inside. So feel like, what does it mean to be touched? What does it mean to, just get into the feeling of this and then reflect how it feels for you.
I love that. I love intuition. Intuition is a mental faculty, and it's one of the superpowers that we actually have as human beings. But for some reason, throughout the different generations, we learn to suppress that little voice inside our heads that knows exactly what to do and that keeps talking to us. But for some reason, we are so distracted with everything around us, other people's opinions, social media, what we're watching on TV, what we're reading on books. We keep ourselves distracted all the time. And I don't know if you notice, but it's very rare that you are not surrounded by any voice and any sound for a long time. Like you are either listening to music or to a podcast or talking to someone or sleeping or working. So it's never just you and your thoughts.
Mhm.
And even if it's the case, it's not for a very long time. I noticed that I have the most amazing ideas and projects and aha moments when I'm like in the shower. When I'm in the shower, I'm not distracted by anything. So it's like for a few minutes, it's me and my intuition, and I have to listen because I'm not listening to anything else. And I think it's a skill that we can adapt to, we can strengthen, we can sharpen. Sharp intuition is a very, very good skill that we can use in our business, in our social life. We can feel it when something is wrong and when something is right. We can make decisions in a millisecond just because we are following our intuition. And as you pointed out, we learn how to listen to our bodies, and our bodies talk to us all the time, being it like developing an allergy or a sudden disease or
Yeah,
feeling I don't know, a headache without any reason. It's
right.
speaking to you all the time. You have to just listen. I love how you correlated listening to your body with intuition and how to really tune in this new frequency of motherhood. Um, so
Well,
I,
because with your baby, you are so skin to skin that it might be feeling kind of strange to have
Mhm.
this. And this is also a way of growth, to feel something new. And I love to take my babies with me under the shower, to shower with them together. It was just fun. And it's so close, and it's just nice to be, yes, in a team. You placed it the right way. It's
Yeah,
a
it's a
team with your
teamwork.
baby.
I
And
love
this is from the outside to the inside.
I love that. So I think your book is not just about the before or during pregnancy experience. It's also after you give birth and how you navigate growing up with your
Yeah.
children. Is that right?
Yes, that's right. It starts from giving birth and it goes to puberty, actually, and to what is education.
Hmm.
And I think this part is very, very crucial in our society, because we always think what we do with ourselves is gathering information. But I can understand that we live in an informative area, in an informative um, century. So I think it's crucial to perceive your child as a soul who is bringing something with himself. So I think it's a good way to look, what is your baby bringing with it? What does it want to develop? And my way of education is always to remove the obstacles so that my child can raise and can develop itself. Yes, of course, we need the information, but we don't need only information. You know, we need the room, the space for the development. And this can be really physical, to get in touch with different things and not to say, oh no, this is dirty, you don't have to touch this. Let him touch dirt. Why not? It's an experience, and it does so many things inside of the brain, and it's exploding because those experience, the nerve cells are just firing and developing, and you need this to be able to learn more.
I think one mistake that parents do is that they want to bring the outcome of the experience directly into their child's brain, saying, this is exactly what's going to happen, so don't even do it, don't bother. Whereas it's the whole experience that's the most important thing. It's the
Right.
journey, it's the learning. Let them touch dirt, make mistakes, let them fall, as long as it's not really dangerous.
Right.
It's crucial that we go through the experience as human beings using our five senses. So
Right.
I love when you pointed out that this is what really a responsibility of a parent should be. Let them navigate, but safely, like remove the
Right.
obstacles, remove the danger, but let them navigate through life.
Yes, wonderful. Yes, these are the right words, I think.
I love it. I mean, I love this new experience of correlating business and motherhood and seeing this through a new perspective. You brought such a new viewpoint, and I love that. So thank you so much, Blanca, for joining me today in this episode of the Success Catalyst. We wanted to call it Motherhood and Entrepreneurship because
Great.
they're certainly correlated, and there's certainly two ways of experiencing growth in terms of spiritual experience, in terms of social skills. Even our body is growing and changing with these experiences.
Absolutely.
So I will put the link to your book in the episode's description, as well as ways to contact you if our listeners want to contact you to book you for a call or to listen to your podcast. Can you tell us more about your podcast?
Well, my podcast is actually Renew Motherhood. So I like to invite people really to follow my book, not to follow my book, but the topic of my book is just to inspire and to look from different angles and to open the eyes of the mothers to what is actually what are they able to do and how to implement this into their life. And you can experience, you can get so many from other experiences, and to if you are able to reflect on your own life, if you just think, okay, what does it mean for me as a mother? How can I implement this experience into my motherhood? Because there are always ways, and I like just to open the gates for
Mhm.
everyone. And yes, that's it about. Well, I have to apologize. My book is so far only available on German in Germany. Well,
Okay.
it's available on Amazon, but so far only in German. But I will make the translation as soon as possible so that it will be also available in English.
All right. Well, keep us posted.
Mm.
I'm very happy to have you as my guest today. I thank you very much for joining me today, and I thank you for the amazing insights that you brought about this amazing subject that is motherhood. So thank you all for our listeners, and we will meet again for another episode of The Success Catalyst. Thank you and goodbye.
Thank you.